Well, hello and welcome to the Informed Traveler Podcast, a weekly travel podcast where our goal is to help you become a more informed traveler. And I'm your host, Randy Sharman. We've probably all witnessed it to some degree, or at least seen it on social media, and that is examples of bad behavior by tourists. Well, Travel Pulse Canada recently had a write-up on it called Travel Fails, Lessons from 2025's Worst Behaved Travelers. So in a few seconds, travel expert Onanta Forbes will join me to discuss some of those bad behaviors. And then travel writer Deborah Smith will stop by to share her recent visit to Bali and her stay at the Alaya Ubud Resort. But first, let's kick things off chatting with travel expert Onanta Forbes, who joins us each week to discuss some of the travel news and travel trends. You can follow her adventures on Instagram, Facebook, and X at Onanta Forbes. OnantaForbes.com is her website. Hello, Onanta.
Hi, Randy. How's your week been?
Very nice. Thank you.
Yes.
So saw this interesting article, how to avoid being a bad tourist. It's on travelpulse.ca. I'm sure we've seen lots of examples of bad behavior by tourists, and hopefully, at least I think I can say that I'm a pretty good tourist. I don't really do any of the things that we're going to talk about. How about you?
Well, definitely not some of the things that are listed here. And it's interesting because last year we saw travel really strongly rebound, but also making a comeback is badly behaved tourists. And I'm sure you and the listeners have heard CNN Travel even put together a roundup of worst behaved travelers of 2025. And it's like reality TV sometimes, like they're disrupting rescue routes on Mount Etna. They're blocking airplane toilets on long haul flights. Why would you do that?
I know, right?
Because you need those.
Yes.
You're vandalizing heritage sites. So, I guess it could be entertaining to read, but you don't really want to know that this is happening in the world. And a lot of places are, with Canadians, they're very popular regions that Canadians travel to. So in Italy alone, tourists were photographed diving into Venice's Grand Canal, driving scooters up the Spanish Steps, and damaging priceless artwork in museums like the U50, I'm not sure if I said that right, galleries. But they come with fines and arrests and a whole lot of backlash from locals who are already feeling the pressure of over-tourism. So I don't know why, like, I listen to that and I hear that and I think, bad manners, like we would never be brought up like that, I hope.
Well, exactly. Well, it makes me wonder, like, is this a generational thing? And I'm going to answer my own question. Yes, because you don't see, well, sometimes you see some pretty rude older people, but not doing those things, damaging things and just doing stupid things.
Right. Oh yeah. I'm kind of stuttering right now because I can't believe that it is actually happening. And probably a lot of these people, I don't know if they're inebriated or not. Like you can kind of see it in a rugby match or a soccer match in Europe, but maybe, but not really. But I think when you're in a local, when you have the opportunity to go to somewhere away from your home, you should respect that. You should follow local norms. For an example, in the UK, queuing is sacred. Like you do line up. You don't bump ahead of somebody else. Or in Spain, you respect siesta hours when shops close middays. Those little courtesies go a long way in helping you blend in and avoid unintentionally offending somebody. For an example, in Asia, where diversity, we love going there because it's part of the magic of going there, but etiquette can change dramatically from one destination to the next. And so in Bali or Kyoto or Phuket, locals have been very vocal about quality of life issues tied to overcrowding and tourist behavior. So cultural sensitivity really matters here. And they're such gracious people. Like I really enjoy their kindness and the way they present themselves. And for an example, For us, we should recognize when we go to a temple or a sacred site across Asia that we should be, considering how we dress. Like modest dress is often expected. So covering our shoulders and knees, removing our shoes, keeping voices low. Think about Angkor Wat, Thailand's Grand Palace. These are living cultural spaces. So you're not supposed to photo the backdrops. And I remember this one time, as I age, it's harder to go onto the ground, sit on the ground. And you have to be careful that your feet don't face the different, religious entities that are there. So it's very, small gestures matter. So we have to show respect. And in the Caribbean and Latin America, again, also hugely popular with Canadians, we have to consider different things. Like in some places, you can't wear camouflage. Like that's considered actually, could be against the law, because they cannot determine who is actually police and who isn't if you're all in camouflage, right? And in many Latin American countries, there's a more relaxed attitude towards time and a strong emphasis on friendly personal interaction. So again, being patient, polite, flexible tends to open more doors than rushing or demanding efficiency. Don't be that angry tourist that, you need to know right now, because sometimes it just doesn't work.
Well, I would like to think that a lot of the bad behaviors aren't intentional, but then you look at some of the examples and you go, well, like, what were you thinking? Like, and they can get you in a lot of trouble in certain areas, doing things that, they can land you in jail, for example, or fines, like you mentioned. So it's best to know the customs and norms of the places you're going to, and be aware of all those things.
Absolutely. And even environmental respect is also critical. Like when you're going somewhere, like stick to the marked paths, follow the park rules, dispose of waste properly. Like just don't fling it out of your window or drop it on the ground. Because these destinations often rely heavily on fragile ecosystems and tourism dollars to survive. So we don't want to destroy them. And you're seeing that different places in the world, you can see that they're not allowing people. Like before, back in the day when I was starting my travel, you used to be able to climb pyramids in Mexico. Now you can't in a lot of places. And you want to see those places, like the places in Egypt and older civilizations. I think that's what draws you to them. So why would you want to, treat them poorly so that you can't enjoy them to the fullest, or feel the beauty of them and the history of them? Because I think standing in front of the pyramids in Egypt is awe-inspiring.
Exactly. And like you see this in everyday life as well. You don't have to travel very far to see bad behavior, like talking people. I see this all the time in the stores, people talking on their phone, on the speaker phone, so you can hear the whole conversation throughout the whole store. Like, I don't need to hear this.
Yes.
So, and then of course let's talk about air travel too now, because that's where you see it. It's I don't think a day goes by where someone isn't posting a video of a passenger on an airline losing their nut for some reason.
Right. And it is, it's quite disconcerting, because at points you kind of have to think, is your safety, or are they going to lash out at you and such? Because, disruptive passengers do cause diversions, delay, and even arrest. I've been on a few flights where, because a client or a guest was not behaving properly or being aggressive to a female guest, and they're male, they diverted to another city that wasn't part of the route, and officers came on board and escorted you off. And that's pretty scary. Like, that'll go. And nowadays, because social media is so prevalent, that could go back to your work.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, we've
And
seen
you could
examples
be,
of that too.
yeah. So, listen to safety briefings, store your bag properly. Don't argue with that's the way it is. And, go easy, maybe go easy on the alcohol. Because courtesy in the air isn't optional. Like we're in a pretty enclosed environment that we do have to do all our part to make sure we all are in a safe environment. And this is a new term, aisle lice. Have you heard of that?
I have. I see it all the time, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah. So these are passengers who leap into the aisle the second the plane lands or hits the gates, or even though
Yes.
they're 10 rows ahead of them are still unloading. And actually, yeah, and I don't know if it's culture that sometimes, or it's just bad behavior. You're just not thinking, like even merging in from, one row to another to get out. It's like,
Yes.
what's with that? Like, I don't get it.
Well, I see this and people have to stand by the gate to get on the plane when they're
Mm,
not ready to take their ticket. You know what I mean? Like they're
zone 5.
zone 5, right?
Right.
And they're boarding zone 1. Like, get out of the way.
Yeah.
Like, it just drives
Yeah.
me nuts. And the aisle lice, it's not just one or two people, it's the vast majority of the aircraft. Like, I would bet
Yeah.
90% of the people stand up right away, so the aisle is just blocked, and they stand there for 15 minutes because the plane isn't ready to plane yet. Like, I sit there, I don't move,
Mm-hmm.
and so I get jostled. Sometimes you almost get an elbow in the head because someone's standing there. It's like, sit down.
Mm-hmm.
Poor-
Yeah.
it just
Absolutely.
drives me nuts. So yes, that's one of the biggest complaints that according to CNN Travel is most complained about air travel habit is doing that. So don't do it anymore.
That's right. Absolutely. Well, too, and you don't want to get into that herd mentality where if one person does it, other people will do it, just like you said. Um,
Yes.
because then it's like, that makes no sense. But we all have to learn before you go. We have to, research local customs, dress codes, gestures, dining etiquette, so you're not caught off guard. Respect personal and public space. Keep your voice down in sacred and transit areas, and ask before photographing people. And we really noticed that when we were traveling through West Africa, like
Mm-hmm.
you would be on a 4x4 vehicle, open air, and perhaps you don't think people in the markets are aware of what you're doing, but they're still going around their life and their own personal world. So you have to be careful that you're not just taking them because they don't think they know yet that you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good to support local communities, like pay fair prices, shop and eat locally. And then we talked about this before, consider visiting lesser known destinations to help ease over tourism, because there will be an environmental impact. And we talked about it. Pack out your trash, leave no trace, and don't take shells or rocks or souvenirs from nature. And if you're staying in someone's home, just like a VRBO, a lot of those nowadays, treat it like your home, clean up after yourself, respect house rules. So at the end of the day, just, you're a guest in somebody's country.
Absolutely. Don't be a jerk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And it's easy to point fingers, but sometimes you really have to think about what you're own doing yourself. Um,
Exactly.
but,
Exactly.
but I
No one's
think,
perfect. No one's
no,
perfect. But,
no, but I always think I'm grateful I have the health and the opportunity and the resources to travel. So I am happy. I don't want to be that person. And you don't
no.
want to also be blacklisted in a country. Like maybe, there's going to be a time where I bet you it's going to be noted on your passport or your digital something that, oh,
Oh, for
don't let
sure.
this person in. I don't know if that's true or not, but you kind of think with all the technology and AI that's out there, it might happen.
Oh, yeah. It's called How to Avoid Being a Bad Tourist. You can find it on the Travel Pulse Canada website, travelpulse.ca. Just be nice.
That's
Like
right. Because You know what? You're going to end up having a far better experience yourself, for yourself
Exactly.
and for your family.
And
Yes.
you don't want to be one of those people that end up on social media.
Oh, because it can
For
go viral.
Onanta
Yes.
Forbes is a travel expert. You can follow her on Instagram, Facebook, and X at Onanta Forbes. OnantaForbes.com is her website. Always good to chat, Onanta. Thank you.
Take care.
This is the Informed Traveler Podcast. I'm Randy Sharman. Just want to remind you of our website, theinformedtraveler.org. That's where you can find our contact page if you have any questions or comments about the podcast. You can also email me, too, with any questions you might have or show segment ideas. My email address is randy@theinformedtraveler.org. And you can check out our social media pages, too, at facebook.com/informedtraveler, Instagram at informedtraveler, or on X at informedtraveler. That's where you'll find a number of videos and reels from our adventures throughout the year and audio clips from our past shows. Plus, you can sign up for our monthly newsletter, too. It's released at the beginning of every month. Our January issue is available now. Just go to our website, theinformedtraveler.org, click on the newsletter button, and it'll take you right there. Or, better yet, you can subscribe to it and have it arrive in your inbox each month. Well, one of our regular guests who we like to chat with is travel writer Deborah Smith. She was recently in Bali, staying at the Alaya Ubud Resort. So Deborah joins us now to share her experience and give us some insight on traveling to Bali. You can read about it on her website, wheretolady.com. Hi, Deborah.
Hi, Randy.
Good to talk with you again. Tell me about your trip to Bali. It sounds amazing. And we'll get into the Alaya Resort, Ubud.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, it was an amazing trip. I'd never been to Bali before, and I was very excited to go. I flew with China Airlines, which is, I'm sure you know, is actually Taiwan's airline, but they call it China Airlines. Yeah, it was very interesting. It was long. It's a long trip over there from here. I'm not kidding, but it was great. Really good service, and yeah, really enjoyed it.
Well, I've never been to Bali, so let's just walk through, where you started in Bali and then where the Alaya Resort Ubud is actually located.
Oh, okay. Well, I think one of the first things that people need to know is that Bali is only one island in Indonesia. And I think a lot of people get confused sometimes and they think Bali is its own country, but it's actually, again, just one of many, many islands that make up Indonesia. And so Ubud is a town that's about almost 30 kilometers from the airport, which is where we landed in Denpasar Airport.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so it's Bali's the island itself is great because there's just so much to see and do there. And this hotel is in a great location.
Well, I am looking on your website, wheretolady.com. Beautiful Bali Hotels, Part 1. I'm assuming there's going to be a Part 2, but
there will be more.
Yes. But the photos really look amazing. Let's talk a little bit about just the hotel or resort itself, the area around it, and the overall impression that you got when you walked through the lobby.
Right. Well, I guess that's one of the wonderful things about the climate there is that, Bali is, for the most part, a beautiful place to visit almost any time of the year. So when you go into the lobby, it's an open air lobby. It's there's a wall behind reception, but the rest of it's open to nature, which is really lovely. And when you come in, I think the first impression you get is just one of warmth and welcoming. They greet you with a cool towel, which is really nice if you've been out in the hot sun, and a really nice, refreshing custom drink that they make when you arrive with mango, which is, I'm just turning into a mango nut. I just love mango everything now. And yeah, so, that's a really nice way to be greeted when you arrive. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mentioned in your write-up, too, 106 rooms. So we're not talking a huge resort, but large enough to accommodate a number of people, right?
Yes, it's a really interesting place. It's right on the main street. So when you come in off the lobby, there's still a lot of hubbub behind you. There's, all kinds of scooters going back and forth. I think there's a scooter for every person in Bali. And, so it seems a bit rushed, but then you get in and it's a long, narrow building that actually stretches back, and you start, as soon as you walk into the hallways and start walking along, it's just like entering a different world. It's so calm and peaceful and serene. You walk along the hallways, which are also open air, and they're all filled with plants and statues and fountains. And it's just a lovely way to enter the hotel. There's an atrium. It's 3 stories high, so that's also full of plants. And once you get to the rooms, this is the kicker, is that the hotel actually backs onto rice fields.
Interesting.
So, yes, so when you walk into your room, it's not like you're opening a balcony door and you're looking over, we've all been there. You're looking over the parking lot. No.
Yeah. Or a construction site or something.
No, that's not going to happen. It's just absolutely beautiful, beautiful green space and quiet and calm. And I think that really sums up what that hotel is all about.
Well, the fresh air and the smells from all the plants and flowers must be very refreshing, yes. I would think.
Oh, yes. The air is amazing. It's just absolutely lovely. Yeah.
So was this part of a formal tour or did you just do it on your own?
No, it was. I did go as part of a tour, but there's many ways to. I don't think you need to be on a tour to go to Bali. To be honest with you, there's so much to see, and it's easy to get around. Driving is great, and actually, if you have a car, the hotel offers free parking, which is awesome. Oh. But if you want to take tours, there's so many things to see within, say, half an hour. You could be at. You've probably seen pictures of the Dessa swings. I don't know if you have or not, but that's a totally Instagrammable site, I would say, where you go and you're on the edge of a cliff overlooking the Ayang River, and you swing out. They tie you in to these swings, bamboo swings. You take a leap of faith, and they push you out there, and it's amazing. It's just it's wonderful.
Not sure if I'd like that, but you never know.
Well, once you see like a whole bunch of other people doing it, you kind of, okay, you do this.
Yeah.
So it's really a nice place. And then it's only, interestingly, 5-minute walk from a sacred monkey forest.
Oh, cool.
Which is really cool. Yeah. It's a huge green space. It's fantastically landscaped. There's a temple there. Well, there's temples everywhere in Bali. But there's one there as well. And it's dedicated to these macaque monkeys, and there's thousands of them everywhere. They're well fed and they're well behaved, and so you can just wander around and observe them as they do their monkey thing, going through the jungle. It's really fun. Yeah.
So getting back to the resort now, again, there's some images on your article on your website, wheretolady.com. The rooms look amazing, and they look rather large. Like like you mentioned, there's one that's 50 square meters. I've had apartments that are smaller than that.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's almost like a magic trick. You go into this very small lobby, but then you get to your room, and they are gigantic. Even just the basic room, which is the deluxe, they only have 3 room categories. So the first one is 50 square meters. So, it's huge.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I've had apartments that are smaller than that.
Exactly. And when you get into the suites, they're running around 1,140 square feet, which is, that's really generous. And a quarter of that, interestingly, is taken up by bathroom space, like bathtub and shower and double sinks and mirrors. And beautiful, just beautiful.
We need to talk about the food. Anything that you enjoyed particularly?
Well, they have They do both an international menu, and they would do what they would call more a typical Balinese menu. Um, I'm not really a foodie, so I don't get into it that much, but the food is very good. And
Nice.
the atmosphere is wonderful because you're sitting out at night. And again, with their main dining room, which is a brasserie, it also has a tall ceiling, and it's a very long room, and it's also open to the air. And so, like that's just a lovely way to be spending an evening dining and having a glass of wine and candles flickering, and it's
Hmm.
beautiful. Yeah.
And so, what other attractions did you see? We talked about the sacred monkey forest and things like that. So, if you step out the
Right.
door,
Well, if you step out the door, you're right in the middle of downtown Ubud. So, you've got shops, you've got restaurants, that's just if you want to do some shopping or if you just want to wander along the street, it's just fascinating to be there. There's a lot of places that do various services. Now, there is a spa on site, the De La
hmm
Spa. I
hmm
didn't unfortunately have time to actually go myself, but people rave about it. And pretty much everywhere you go in Bali, you'd be guaranteed to get a massage at a good price. That will be spectacular. Yeah, but I mean, just as I say, just you're very close, even to the beach. You're only half an hour away if you want to go, like right out to enjoy
Very nice.
beach time. Yeah,
hmm So, what surprised you the most? Like, what weren't you expecting, or what were you expecting that didn't happen? Anything jump out at you?
I really love their emphasis on their the religious aspects of it. I guess
Hmm
they one of the things that they do at the hotel that I found was really interesting is they actually have a workshop where you can create your own daily offering. They're called a Kanang Sari. And every day in every Balinese um, business and home, they have daily offerings. I believe it's at least once a day and sometimes twice a day. And these are small gifts that they create to uh, the deities that they honor,
hmm
and they're made of flowers and fruit, and they're small and they're just presented really beautifully on little plates, and they're always placed in the northeast corner of an establishment. Or if you have a family home, it's always in the northeast corner of the home.
Hmm.
And I just found that the Balinese culture really embraces their their sense of spirituality, and that just comes through in the way that people are very calm there. They're very kind. They're very welcoming, and yeah, I just found that throughout the country, and I wasn't really expecting that, to be
Nice.
honest. Yeah, it was
hmm
very nice. Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
Well, it's just I was really impressed with the Alaya Resort because they do cleave to those to their values, their cultural values, and the people that work there are just amazing. They're just a wonderful, kind bunch of people that will willing to help you. I mean, go over and above. I mean, you're used to good service at a good hotel, but this is sort of it's genuine, and really
hmm
caring, and
Nice.
I found that very appealing.
Very nice. Well, people can read about it. Beautiful Bali Hotels Part 1. Alaya Resort, Ubud. Deborah Smith is the author, and you can find it on her website, wheretolady.com. Really appreciate your time, Deborah. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Randy.
And that is our show for this week. If you have comments or questions, we'd love to hear from you. If you have a show idea, send that along as well. My email is randy@theinformedtraveler.org. And if you like what you heard, tell a friend. You can check out our website too at theinformedtraveler.org. In the meantime, thanks for listening, travel safe, and be an informed traveler.